Hi, so my name is Jerome Touze. I'm one of the co-founders of WAYN.com, which stands for Where Are You Now? We're the largest travel and lifestyle media platform with 21 million members worldwide.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining Breaking Travel News today. We're here in Delhi, New Delhi, India, where you've just signed quite a significant new contract with a partner, India Today. Perhaps you could just tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So it's been a couple of months in the making, and so India Today Group is one of the largest media conglomerates in the country, with many publications, radio, TV presence, and we've been looking for a partner in India for some time because the community has about 4.3 million members now in the world out of the 21 million members that we've got. So we were sort of debating the idea of launching an office here and starting from scratch, or finding a partner on the ground which would help us to actually get into the market quite quickly. And so we've looked at the market, we've met many parties, and they were by far the best fit. And so we've been very excited to work with them for the last couple of weeks. And we're actually launching tonight the official website, so it's going to be called travelplus.wayn.com. So it's a bit of a white label, sort of fully branded Travel Plus portal. For the WAYN users, it means they're going to get more access to travel and lifestyle content, because you can imagine a media group like them have access to very rich content. And it's going to allow us to get straight into the market and have access to some of the advertising portfolio companies we've been working with for the last couple of years, and hopefully allowing us to scale a lot quicker.
We were talking briefly before we turned the camera on. India is obviously a massive market. It's already one of the largest in the world, but only 10% of the population here is online. How do you see that developing over the next few years?
Yeah, I mean, India and many other emerging markets have actually adopted the mobile technology a lot faster than obviously we have in the Western world, purely because the infrastructure on the internet were perhaps not there from the beginning, so they went straight into the mobile bandwagon. As far as we're concerned, we're seeing India clearly as one of the biggest markets. I mean, we think 2.5 years ago we had about 45,000 users. Today India is about 4.3 million. It's growing by a few thousand users every single day that join on the website. So we clearly want to tap into that. I mean, as you rightly said, 1.3 billion population, 10% of that only online, and they're already the third biggest internet population in the world. And that's only going to set to grow. If you look at the current economic climate right now, only a few are still experiencing growth, and you can argue that the growth that India is currently experiencing is probably actually not enough, given the growth that they already have from their population and aspiration, from their middle class, which is about 400 million out of the 1.3 billion. So we clearly want to develop more on the mobile. We recognize that we're a bit behind as a company. We have to invest more in the mobile vertical, and so there are some really exciting plans that are going to be launching from January 2013 and onwards, which we can't reveal too much, but we're very excited about. Numerous amount of apps that are going to go on Android and the iOS, which we hope we're going to allow us to tap into the ever-growing demand of mobile technologies in this country.
More generally, back in Europe, more mature markets, you're very established now, 21 million users, as you say. A lot of, not rivals, but larger social networks have gone in the opposite direction. I'm thinking here of MySpace, Bebo, some of the earlier ones. What strategies do you have in place to make sure that you continue the growth that you've seen over the last 2 to 3 years?
I think, look, it's important to say that we're not trying to become clearly a Facebook. I mean, they've experienced massive growth, and there's going to be space for so many of them. If you look at the generalist players, the likes of MySpace and Bebo and Friends were united to name but a few, perhaps didn't show enough differentiation at the time when Facebook was actually growing even faster. We've been lucky to, have an element of differentiation and be niche verticals, which is travel. LinkedIn has done that very well in the business segment. I think that the key to success is to have a differentiation angle. If you have a service that is going to be complementary, so it's not going to be a Facebook conversation or WAYN, it's very much Facebook serves particular purposes, and WAYN is going to be serving others. So I think that as long as we stick to that core, and we're not trying to lose that focus and trying to catch up, but rather innovate on the things that we firmly believe, then there's always going to be plenty of room for growth. I mean, 21 million users, as you know, the internet world is much bigger than that. So we're very confident that we're going to have more growth to be experiencing for the next couple of years.
Is it fair to say one of the elements of your differentiation is your aspirational nature? Facebook, Twitter, they're very much in the moment, people saying what they're up to now. Your site tends to look forward more. Is that the case?
It's indeed a strategy we've been implementing for the last 24 months, very much focused on not just the location element of where have you been, where you are, but where you are going, but also the places that you would love to visit. So trying to focus on the aspect of, where would you like to go next, but also the things you are interested in doing. So if you think of travel as a funnel, WAYN would be right at the top of that funnel, which is very much around, I haven't made a conscious decision of going to this location, but I'm thinking about it. And we're trying to project the users on the future, which is very much what we call intentions broadcasting. Where do you want to go in future, and what are you interested in doing? And it's for those reasons that the platform has been very well adopted for the likes of the tourism industry, because we are able, as a platform, to work with any airline or any hotel or even tourism organization, tell them that we have a segment from a particular country, let's say 25,000 users from, let's say, London, that are interested to come to Delhi next month. And when they come to that location, they are interested in doing the following set of activities. And we know, particularly in the last 2 years, that the tourism industry has changed drastically in the way they promote themselves. It's not just about the location, it's about the activities and interest. So if, as a user, I want to go kite surfing, I'm going to have a selection of destinations where I can do that. I'm not going to be thinking, I can go to Egypt or South Africa. I'm going to say, where can I go in the world, because I'm interested in doing that particular set of activity. And so the tourism industry has changed, and they're starting to recognize that social media is one of the ways in which they can actually exploit that. And this is why finally, in the 3 or 4 years we're bashing on the doors and trying to explain, look, social media is something you can't ignore. I think that conversation has passed and everyone recognized that it's clearly something that's part of the marketing agenda. Now it's more a question of how do we actually work social media, how do we make best use of that. And it's still something that hasn't necessarily been in every sort of CMO's mind, but we're getting to that education, it's happening, and now we work with 40 plus global tourist boards in the world, and it's an ever-growing proposition.
And just to conclude then, you've been very successful, a very mature, established company now. You've been recognised by the World Travel Awards as an industry leader. How does it feel to have claimed that prize?
Well, it's fantastic. I mean, I was not expecting at all. I mean, the email that we got, literally the nomination and then the vote as the winner, and we're very obviously thrilled and we feel very proud of having won this award, so we're very grateful for it. And I think it is a recognition of the work that we have been putting behind the scenes for the last 12, 18 months, and there's more to come. We actually have a very big release coming out at the end of this year, which is going to come out probably more like the first week of January, just post-Christmas. We can't talk about it too much, but essentially a new UI. It's going to be completely different in the way users actually interact with the site, more content, more functionalities, more stickiness, hopefully. So hopefully that's going to pave the room for further rewards in future.
Well, the landscape's changing all the time, so hopefully we'll catch up in a few months and see how that develops. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.